virtual audience, followers of diverse marketing. I am super excited today because the guest of the happiest half hour, the happy half hour, I should say my own show right correctly, but our guest today represents the company that I think is the single best new innovation of the year. It comes from across the pond. We'll talk to you guys about the insights and how successful it's been there. But I'd like to welcome my friend Christoph to the happy half hour. What's up, man?
Hey, good to see you, Steve. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, man, you're one of my favorite people that I met this year. But speaking of which, I met you at a trade show, and this project is about figuring out what the magic of a trade show is, the study of the trade show. And I've boiled it down to three things: the insights that we go there to learn, the interesting people that we go there to meet, and the interesting product that we're hoping to discover. So speaking of that, Christoph, can you tell us an interesting insight on the Tonies brand? A quantification of success, a baseline for projecting how exciting your launch in the US could be.
Oh yeah, totally. So I mean, maybe first, that is a Tony's box, and so it's ultimately, we call it it's a kid's lovable storytime friend, and it puts them autonomous in their entertainment choices. This has been in the market in Europe now for a few years, and it's basically the number 3 toy property just after Lego and Playmobil. And with more
That's
than
NPD?
one. Sorry?
Is that NPD number 3 right now?
Yes, that's MPD. So we're not coming up with that. Frankly, even funny story is I personally didn't know what MPD was until they showed up at our booth in January at the Nuremberg Toy Fair to give us an award. We're like, oh, great, an award. And our founders, Patrick and Marcus, were like, yeah, wow, that's very nice. And we asked for the question, what do we get this award actually for? And that's where we learned truly the huge footprint and ultimately really the service we're doing for our Tonies families, and that has become such an adored part of the family, that we also felt like it's about time to go to the US and also have here the impact that we have back in Europe.
It's awesome, man. Okay, let's give the people what they want. Let's do a demo. Let's show them why I'm excited about Tonies, why you came to run their US operation. What is a Tony box and what's a Tony?
Absolutely. So a Tony box is this wonderful speaker. One thing that's very important that you will not see from pictures of the website, it's like a super soft and smushy speaker. So it's designed for a toddler, for a 3-year-old. And it's designed in a way that the 3-year-old can't harm the device, but more importantly, the device cannot harm the 3-year-old. And it's very intuitive. Basically, you would squeeze an ear, and that would switch the box on. You hear this little sound. And then you put your favorite figure on. So for example, we all know this guy, the Gruffalo, and you put it on, and the magic happens that it starts playing the song and the story of the Gruffalo. And the child can take it off, and it stops. And you put it back on, and the story continues.
Christoph, tell them about the Create a Tony, because in full transparency, the samples that you sent me, I gave to my very best friend and his 2-year-old son. I have seen the magic. I have personally witnessed the anecdotal validation of what Tonies does for a kid. Show them what the Creative Tony is, please.
Sure. So Creative Tony can be a guy like this guy that is a very special guy, and I will maybe come to this one later. Or it come also in other shapes. So here we have a Creative Tony that is a soccer player here. Creative Tonys always have these pointy ears. And what you can think of about it, it's like it's your own DIY Tony where you can send messages with. So what happens is, you hear from my accent, I'm German, but I'm living since 10 years already in California. And I have a 5-year-old son here. And my mom in Germany, through her smartphone, she can record messages, read books, sing songs to my son here in California. And he in the morning, he puts that on and listens to grandma reading a story, singing a song. And it brings our family overall together. It takes the anxiety away that sometimes happens, with video calls. We've all seen that. Like, we're all little kids on video calls and they suddenly are shy. And and you know what? You know why they're shy? Because there comes often directly a kind of anxiety that this call will just be a short interaction. And after that, grandma, mommy, daddy, whoever is on the other side will disappear again. And it's hard for them to cope with that. And the creative Tony really allows for people to send this personalized messages, and the kids at their own like time, they put this on, they listen to grandma, they stop, they listen to grandma, and it's really exciting.
So awesome. You have a high-tech toy, but with no screen. It's
Yeah,
almost, you know, it's almost an impossible task, but you guys did it.
yeah, I think the screen, no screen thing was really important. That was also the genesis of that. So, you know, our founders, Patrick and Marcus, they both met actually on, believe it or not, the board of their preschool. And, you know, I think that's also a special place. Whoever has been involved, like in the parent committees and boards of nonprofits, also particular schools, you know, it takes really a commitment to you know, children's education and to the community. And they were like, you know, we need to give imaginative play back to kids. We need to give autonomy, entertainment choices back to kids that really like stimulates imagination in a way that screens simply cannot do.
Absolutely, man. Well, you mentioned your interesting accent, but you also have a unique background outside or before the toy industry. Can you give us a little taste of what you did before toys?
Oh my God. Wow. So I wasn't prepared for that, but yeah, so as I mentioned, I live in California now. Personally, I actually I grew up in Africa, then studied in Europe. And yeah, my first company I started out of college was actually we cleared landmines. So a company called Minewall Systems, and we produced heavy machinery that would clear landmines. And we started out on the Balkans after the war there, quickly went into Africa. We worked on the Middle East. We did the Jordanian-Israeli border from the Dead Sea to the Red Sea. From that, I moved on and came to California to go to grad school. And here, my wife and I started together a sustainable fashion company that we built over the last 8 years, because fashion is the second most polluting industry in the world after oil, and we really wanted, you know, to make a difference there. And I think our brand Amover has and is a catalyst in that. And also that company, I had a good opportunity to hand this over to private equity in 2018. And on the search for my next, you know, frontier I wanted to push, I came across the Tony box and was like, this is so good. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to truly change the childhood and parenting experience in the United States. And that's, you know, what I'm dedicating my life right now to. So it's really, really exciting.
I think that's an awesome segue, because this is a really special toy, and you are strategically starting with the most special retailers in America. Tony's, the plan, if correct me if I'm wrong, is to launch at the neighborhood toy stores this fall. Can you elaborate on your plans for the launch?
Yeah, sure. And I mean, also, obviously, it's a team of exceptional people that we're all working with. First of all, is obviously also the diverse team, diverse marketing that we love. And I think, you know, everybody, you mentioned this is also about trade shows. And I was lucky. I felt like, you know, at Toy Fair in New York, we were kind of like the last trade show. We closed the door. We're like the industry that's still at a trade show beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And
you got lucky.
But it was so vibrant. It was so good to be there, because it was in these in-person conversations that we got feedback, that we were able to light the fire, that we got excitement. And also there, I was really excited that, you know, we met with the folks, and really great folks of the Good Toy Group. That you know, we also, they discovered us actually in Nuremberg already in January. And then so we're super stoked to work with the Good Toy Group this year. We'll also be working with you know, Learning Express, and we truly believe that ultimately it's a product, it's a new category, right? And for that, you need to have people that see, experience the magic, believe in it, and also can tell it. And therefore, we believe the neighborhood toy stores in America are the place absolutely to start with.
Incredible. Absolutely, man. Okay, well, I have one more question for you, Toy Fair specific. You entered the marketplace or the toy industry right before Nuremberg, and then you got a chance to go to New York Toy Fair, right?
Yes, sir.
What were, just off the cuff, what observations did you find between the two marketplaces? I'm curious on your take of the differences or similarities between the European toy market and the American toy market.
As I mentioned from my background, I'm the new kid on the block when it comes to toys. So, I definitely look up to people like you and Greg and Wes Harding and, Laurie Ford and everybody else who's taking me by the hand and guiding me through that. And I'm extremely grateful for that.
Interesting.
I would say, listen, it's obviously, so Nuremberg, whoever's been there, it's like you just wonder in what kids' room that can all go, right? Because it's bigger than Javits, no?
Yeah. Nuremberg's probably 5 times bigger.
So imagine that, right? So even if you have never been in Nuremberg, but just imagine 5 Javits centers full of toys, right? And it goes in a lot. I mean, they also have a whole hall just for, I think, fireworks, right? So
yes, costumes and fireworks, yes.
And model trains, and so there's a whole Javits full of fireworks. There's a whole Javits full of one train. There's one full of costumes. So I think Nuremberg is really where, everything kids, and actually also, the kid at hearts, the never-ending kids find everything. Obviously, I felt, and that is, that's America. I mean, New York has so much more entertainment. I think also New York is so much more about, it's about license.
Good observation.
Right, that's a big difference if it's about license. I felt Nuremberg was a little bit more open. So Nuremberg has more open booths. Also, there are some booths, obviously, they're also closed up and all this. Whereas a little bit, Nuremberg or New York can be very closed up. If you don't have an appointment, you can't get in. You need to sign NDAs and there's all those kind of things.
Yes.
And then, but I think they're both important. So I think if you want to understand toys, I was very grateful that I had the chance to go to both. You were at both, right?
I was at both. I've been seeing the hype of Tonies for 3 Nurembergs now. We've been chasing you guys so much. The first time we saw it, we're like, this is the future. But you have to take a step back to sometimes go forward. And the idea that you didn't use the screen when it was readily available makes this toy like the toy of discipline, and discipline somehow becomes the best way of fun. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's also, maybe that's a thing also to think about shows and fairs, because that's it, sometimes it's good to take certain things away, and so I think the Tony box is an exercise of that, good design is when there's nothing that you can take away anymore. It's not about adding another feature or thrill. So it is designed in the sense that 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, I have a 5-year-old that, by the way, might bomb this meeting anytime, but he's just fine with that, and he doesn't need more or less. And just think about it. So putting volume up is a big ear, putting volume down is a small ear. I mean, a 3-year-old, he doesn't know what a plus and a minus means, right? And then also with the Tony box, like actually moving to the next track, you give it a clap, and moving the track backwards, you give it another clap, because a kid doesn't know, that 2 arrows to the left means forward and 2 arrows to the back means backward. That's just us who grew up with devices that had those things on there, right?
Right.
So it is designed for, we meet the kid there where it is in its development, and we grow with the kid. So I think that's the other thing for us that's always was difficult. It's like when we talk about trade shows, we believe we're a little bit more than a toy. It's an edu-tainment platform. It's an education entertainment platform for kids, because there's the box, but then there's this whole universe of different figurines. We have Disney licenses. McQueen. We have the Little Mermaid with Elsa, with Cinderella coming. Next year we'll have Monsters and with the Lion King. So it's a whole universe basically that opens up.
Absolutely, man. No, that's perfectly said. Christoph, one last thing before we close this show.
You're already over? Man, this went fast.
Happy half hour. The audience is demanding.
Sure.
But we want to throw a curveball, just one. If there's anything around you in your vicinity that is within reach that we could play the selling game with. Christoph, the audience wants to hear you pitch something off the cuff, just a little exercise in salesmanship. If I pretend to be a retail buyer, let's say, how about Barnes & Noble, or maybe how about Learning Express Corporate, or anything around you that's applicable. Maybe you grab something and then we can do your best pitch and we'll close out the show.
Best pitch of all. It's all my personal stuff here. So, and I mean, does the Tony box count?
I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's buying that after this.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Tell us about the painting behind you.
Oh, that's actually that painting here. It's beautiful. So this painting, though it's not for sale, I must really say it's a limited edition. It really is a limited edition because it was a gift from my wife when our first son, was born, and it was drawn by a really famous artist in Europe, who's actually who has Down syndrome also, but who is really a worldwide represented artist also that does these limited edition prints and started drawing to express his feeling, and has a whole collection about how he sees the world with his truly beautiful perspective. And so that is a picture of his family that he drew as like family life of how he sees himself together with his parents.
Christoph, that was better than any other pitch, man. That was awesome, man.
It's not for sale. It's not for sale, man.
It's not for sale, of course. What pitch is better than that? Christoph, the last 3 to 10 to 15 seconds is going to be all yours, because we call the final segment the creation of positive energy. Shout out anybody that needs to hear it, anybody that's doing an awesome job, a new teammate or an account, or anyone else in the business that's evolving the business of play. I'm Kid at Heart, Steve Starobinski. Thank you for watching the Happy Half Hour. Christoph, thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you, man. Well, I think we should everybody, right now, we live in an unprecedented time. And I think we should thank everybody that's involved in helping kids getting through that, because, I think for them, it's the hardest to understand. And while it's great to be with their parents, also that they're missing their friends. And I think there are a lot of questions that they had. So I think my thank goes obviously very personally to my wife here and everybody that is around my child, but I think everybody, that's doing something for kids. And with that, it's truly also all these toy stores that came up with these amazing curbside pickups, everything. I really feel for Astra right now. I think Astra is such a vital part of, what really play means in this country. And they lost their show that's happening in 2 weeks, and they're doing a great, digital setup. So I think I'm rooting for them, and I'm really excited what's coming out for that.
Absolutely.
And we all have to just keep it together, and you're doing the right thing. I mean, I think truly, Steve and the whole diverse marketing, you're doing the right thing because you bring us together. You from day one, you did not go silent. You were like, okay, we're going to attack that. We're going to be out there. We have positivity. You bring great people together. So, hey, we're in this together. And I'm excited to be now a part of this. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. That was perfect. We'll see you next time. Tonies is the best new toy 2020, period. See ya.